Hi guys, okay, so I decided I'd do a video to explain USB because USB is a very popular technology nowadays. So USB stands for Universal Serial Bus. It's a big term. Really all it is this little connector here. For those of you who are not IT techies out there, this connector is a USB connector. It's been out for years. It's been out for, as far as I can remember, about at least 8 years, maybe even more. And what is so nice about the USB technology is the fact that I don't know if you ever heard of the term plug and play. The idea of having to just plug a device into your computer and it works was one of the major driving forces behind creating the USB interface. For those of you living, 10 years ago, like me, 15 years ago, we, in the computer world, we had to install drivers. So things were not plug and play. In other words, things were not as simple as you just plug a device into the computer and then it would work. Back then, you had to get software and you install the software on your Windows machine, and that would have allowed you to use a device like a mouse or a keyboard, etc. So you could imagine we have gone a long way in terms of this plug and play technology, which now allows you to plug a USB device like a mouse or a keyboard, and Windows automatically detects it, installs the correct driver for you. If it can't find the driver on the computer, it goes out to the internet and pulls the correct driver and installs it for you. So it's very easy. You just plug a mouse in, plug a keyboard in, plug a hard drive in, it works. And that's the whole idea behind USB technology. And that's why it is very popular and continues to be very popular. Also, the USB technology is fairly cheap. The technology allows a lot of different devices, for example, from a camera, a webcam, to a hard drive to be connected to the computer very easily. Now, what I wanted to speak about today was USB connectors, to explain a little bit about what happened, the evolution of USB connectors. So essentially, the connectors started off USB 1.0. The connectors started off with this guy. And as you see, you could recognize this guy, right? And this guy plugs either into the front of the computer or to the back of the computer, and whatever is on the other end would work. So, and I'm relating this thing back into the mobile devices now. This was the initial size. Then after this initial size was created, they decided to make the USB cable even smaller. And so too, just like how HDMI is becoming smaller and smaller, as you would have seen in my previous video to this, the USB connectors are becoming smaller. So about 2 or 3 years ago, they created this guy. Actually, it might be about 4 years ago. And this guy is a mini USB connector, right? I got the name correctly. All right, so this mini USB connector was very popular with Motorola phones. If any of you guys remember, back then the technology, what was popular, what was not. And this was also used for like connecting to like an external CD burner or hard drive. And it works fine, it still does. But in recent times, with phones becoming thinner and thinner and thinner, they came out with another connector. And sometimes it's hard to differentiate between these two connectors. So I'll show you the other connector, which is the latest connector. It's called the micro USB connector, and this should be the one that you're more familiar with. Now, I don't know if the camera will focus, but as you can see, this is even thinner than the original, well, not the original, the second one I just showed you, which was the mini. This is the micro. This is very popular for especially the Samsung devices, and most phones now, HTC, all these different phones are coming with this connector. Essentially, what they're doing is just they're making the connector thinner because the phones are also thinner. So imagine a phone is thin, this should be able to fit into the phone like that. So why have all these different connectors? As I said, the only major reason is because the ports are becoming thinner, because phones and whatever devices are also becoming thinner. How has USB changed? Well, as you know, USB has changed from 1.0 to 2.0, now to 3.0. And essentially what that means is that these cables work fine. All these, you don't have to change them based on the version. The version just means that whatever is the speeds are changing. So the speeds are actually getting faster. They're being able, the connections between the hardware devices that connect these cables up together are becoming faster. Now there's one last thing I want to talk about before I finish this video, and that is USB power. Long ago it was so difficult to get USB power from your plugs. In other words, you would have to connect your USB device to your computer or a built-in adapter to be able to charge your devices. And now with the introduction of these guys, which are basically adapters with USB ports, you are better equipped to charge your devices. I remember long ago when USB devices now came out, I had to actually hook these things up to my laptop to get it charged. So imagine you just powering up your laptop and have your laptop on or your computer on just to charge a device. It was ridiculous. But now, as I said, these devices, these adapters are coming in very handy. It also allows it allows them to cut costs because they no longer have to create an adapter with a built-in cable for your USB to charge. Now it's basically you connect your USB cable in. And these go for about 40 to 60 TT. So they're less than 10 US for adapters. So if you don't have adapters, please get that. It's more efficient. You're saving the environment by using these as opposed to connecting up your laptop and charging your phone and whatnot through your laptop and your phone. The cool thing about USB is that it uses 5 volts. So essentially this is what this does. This breaks down the idea of having to have a laptop in between and using up so much power just to be able to charge your phone. Most of these adapters are between 0.75 amps to 1.0 amps, and that's fine. That should be able to power your devices pretty well and also charge your devices. So I hope you guys learned a little bit more about USB and appreciate it a little bit more. So when you have to go to the store, you know what to buy, what cables to buy. As I said, nowadays, your phones would be the micro USB. Previous, if your phone is about 5 years old, it should be mini USB. So you might be able to help the person to get the correct cable for your phone if your cable damages or anything like that. So thanks again for viewing, and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again soon.